Welcome back, everyone, to another technical analysis. And today's topic is going to be Cardano coin. Now, it's been 10 days basically since we made our last video, so we are fully back to daily videos. And basically, that's it. Let's get started. So, we see a similar pattern to form basically here. So, in this region and in this region as well. Now, on the both of those regions, we see that price. Let's take the highlighter actually. So, this one here and this moment here. So we see that we had an explosive breakout from the EMAs. So we have here and we have here as well. Now, what's different is we had a breakout, small retest, another high to form here. So another push. And then eventually we went back below the 200 EMA. Sellers secured with a successful retest and we started to fall back to lower zones. And here we are, another breakout from 200 EMAs. Now, we had massive breakout without any remorse. We had multiple stop losses as well here. And now, give me 1 second. So, and now basically, we've been testing multiple times the 200 EMA with a liquidity grab here. You can see those X's mark a liquidity hunts basically, so on the candles. And of course, we had moment here, recovery, another attempt, and we see a bunch of liquidity huntings here. Now we checked those X's as well on the liquidity pool, and there was a lot of liquidity being stopped from the markets. And eventually, we had another like huge candle for the daily time frame. I'm actually even curious how high it was. So let's take from the lows and highs. So basically 78% of market price movement in a single daily candle, which is mad. Now, of course, we had another liquidity movement, and now we are back below this, not below actually, but near this 200 EMA. On the bigger time frame, so the daily time frame, we expect to see the similar movement here. So we want to see price to fall back below here, maybe retest, and eventually fall slightly at least to the like 0.40 cents at least. And once we see here, we might see some kind of like sideways movement and again another explosive movement to the upper zones, possibly forming a new all-time high, who knows. But this would be the most logical movement for us. A breakout from 200 EMAs happened, similar here, a breakdown, similar to possible here, and then a steep movement of sideways channel basically. So on the daily time frame, it's pretty simple, I think. Now on the 4-hour time frame, what caught also our attention is this huge CMA gap here. So when we formed this 78% of market price movement, we formed a really big CMA gap. And when we had this kind of movement, we also mentioned that we are looking for a downward movement. And since then, we basically had, I think we called it here, it was on the 2nd of March. Since then, basically, prices have dropped so far 32%, but we expect to see further movement to lower zones, at least towards this zone here, to fully secure this line. Now, there's also a smaller CMA gap, so we had a smaller fill here already. You can see a liquidity movement into the Monday, mostly filled this zone, but we might still see some further movement to this line here, which is also the EMAs, and then a steep movement to lower zones. Now, if we see this CMA gap to be filled, this would ideally break the 200 EMA, and of course, a steep movement to lower zones will happen most probably. So, on the 4-hour time frame, there is a chance to take a trade from here, basically, spot on, with a stop loss closer to this 200 EMA, slightly above. And the take profit zone will be here. Now, this would be the first entry for us if we would take the trade. This would be the first entry, which would be, let's say, 1% of portfolio. This would be the second entry zone, which would be 2%. So dollar cost averaging the position, dragging the average entry to here, I think it would be. And risk and reward ratio would be closer to 1 to 2.5 basically. But this is just the 4 hour time frame game plan. We want to see the bigger moves, which would be, of course, again, dollar cost averaging the position, slightly above the 4 hour time frame's stop loss zone, and target, as we already mentioned, is 40 cents. This would be the zone where you can like top up your sell position, and that's it. Now all we have to do is just wait for this 200 EMA to be broken. As soon as we see a breakdown, which would most likely be something like this, similar to this one here, but with a proper retest. So we don't see much more to happen on the Cardano coin so far. We have a liquidity movement, sellers took over, so there is still a huge pressure from the sellers. So that's it for the Cardano coin. Slightly longer video than we expected, but who cares? As always, thank you for watching and see you on the next video.